Yes, people. How are you doing? It's Mr. Auden Allen, and I'm here live and direct to introduce an amazing artist to the stage. Next, we have Poet Laureate Casey Bailey. How you doing, bro?
I'm blessed, thank you, I'm blessed.
Casey Bailey is a writer, performer, and educator, born and raised in Nechells. Birmingham, UK. He's the Birmingham Poet Laureate 2020 and 2022, and the Greater Birmingham Future Face of Arts and Culture 2020. Casey's second full poetry collection, Please Do Not Touch, was published by The Burning Eye in 2021. Casey's debut play, Grime Boy, was commissioned by the Birmingham Rep in 2020. He was commissioned by the BBC to write The Ballad of the Peaky Blinders in 2019. So how you going on, bro? In 2020, the poem was internationally recognised, winning a Webby Award. Casey has performed his poetry nationally and internationally. Casey was named as one of Birmingham Live's Birmingham 30 Under 30 of 2018 and was also recognised in 2019 when he was made a Fellow of the University of Worcester. It's my greatest pleasure to introduce this amazing guy, Casey Bailey. Yo, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Take it away, brother.
As a kid, I sat at home and watched the Olympics. One gunshot started a race. 8 black men running. As a boy, I asked my dad, why are they all black? Apparently, being born black is being born with a predisposition to be fast. I like the sound of this. As a man, I sit at home and watch the news. 1 gunshot fired by a police officer, 1 black man dead. The news show a selection of others murdered by the police. My nephew asked me, why are they all black? Apparently, being born black is being born with a predisposition to hold a lower value in society. Apparently, being born black is being born with a predisposition to be prejudicially treated by a judicial system which is preordained to be prejudiced against you. I don't like the sound of this. To be honest, if you gave me the choice, I would hand back the speed and the bullets at the same time. Even the fastest man can't outrun a bullet. See, 1 gunshot can start a race. 1 gunshot can start a race riot. 1 gunshot can end a life. It's such a blessing to be here at More Than a Moment today, and I want to share you a selection of poetry that this whole space has inspired me to kind of pull together. My next poem is called Wax, and yeah, I'm just going to get straight into it. He told me he would fly to the sun one day. Told me he would push from these city streets, these gritty streets. He would push and fly higher than the rockets that NASA sent. He told me he would fly to the sun. I told him that's what Icarus said. Brave boy with feathered wings held together with wax. Brave boy with bigger dreams than he'd ever seen. I told him that's what Icarus said. But he told me he would fly to the sun. He would fly higher than Thames Tower, Severn Tower, and Medway Tower. He would fly higher than those tower blocks stacked one on top of the other. And even if the crackheads that lived in those tower blocks and the police that raided the flats of the crackheads that lived in those tower blocks tried to stop him, he would make it. I can't help but laugh at the way he holds the police and the crackheads with the same level of disdain, and I know he hates the police more. I know he's more scared of becoming the crackheads, but he told me he would fly to the sun. I told him that's what Icarus said. Brave boy with feathered wings held together with wax. Brave boy ready to push, to rise, to fly. I told him that's what Icarus said. And he looked me in my eyes, surprised that I gave him so little credit. And he said, fam, what kind of idiot holds their dreams together with wax when their dreams involve the sun? I listen and I laugh. We laugh. I laugh because everybody I know would tell me that he doesn't get it, and he would tell everyone I know that they don't get it. And I'm starting to think that maybe Icarus just didn't get it. This brave boy with dreams, held together with hope, desperate to escape a labyrinth of his father's creation, desperate but determined to push, to rise, to fly. I have never seen someone stuck so long in a nightmare hold so strong onto their dreams. And for a second, if I'm being really honest, more than a moment, it was probably about half a second, I believed him. Cool. So I'm going to read you some newer poems now. So I'm going to grab the old iPad, excusez-moi. This poem is from my recent collection called Please Do Not Touch, and it is inspired by the music of Gregory Porter. And the epigraph is a quote by Gregory Porter, which I wanted to share with you, which is, "Protest is the purest honesty. This is what pushes us forward. This is what cleans the house." The poem's called Caged Concord, and it goes like this. "Lions are made for cages," she said. "She told me to be good. I brush my mane to impress a world who will never hear my lyrics, only the roar of my vocal. I wear assumptions to every single party, but apparently these aren't red carpet rags. I avoid the cameras as much as they avoid me, allowing myself to believe maybe it was me who started this. I shouldn't be here or there or anywhere where my invite is spat through bread knife teeth. I am no lion. I am Concord, destined to slice through stratosphere, to rise above and stay there. I am still carrying this cage, but it will not slow my speed or crash this plane." Cool. And so my last poem that I want to share with you guys is called Money Where Your Mouth Is, and it is inspired by the More Than a Moment pledge. And it goes kind of something like this, I think. When the bricks tumble to the ground and the grit of cement scratches at your teeth, do not cry. Do not mourn as you watch all that you have ever known crumble. Sometimes the most constructive thing we can do is dismantle everything. This is how it has always been. Feels like a cheap excuse in the same way that a blade in the spine feels like a pat on the back when the person standing behind you is supposed to be on your team. If they are more worried about how long the walls will take to rebuild than they are about how long you have been crushed by the building, then understand this. It's not that they think you belong at the bottom. They never cared about where you belong. It is because they feel they have earned their seat. Never saw how finish lines raced towards them and starting lines tripped you before you ran. Of course, they didn't see that part. Never saw how finish lines raced towards them. For these systems to change, people will have to look at themselves first. It's not about pitying and giving. It's about self-reflection and acceptance. It is easy to want to help, harder to want to fall. But what if you're supposed to? The time for talking is crumbling like the walls. People have been talking about what's right, and we've been telling them to put their money where their mouth is, and they have. Every single penny where their mouth is. Maybe that's why they have all this energy for talk and no hunger for change. Maybe that's why I am tired and starving. Maybe it's time somebody else oversaw the portions. The people whose ideas are often taken but rarely credited. I understand I am taking up your time. But we need more. More than token gestures and half-cooked plans, more than 2 djembes on stage in October, more than an afterthought and acknowledgement, more than hard to reach, voiceless or disengaged. I understand that I am taking up your time, but my time is now. And we need more. More than a moment. Thank you very much. I want to thank More Than a Moment for having me. It's been a pleasure and a blessing. Thank you.